When my sister Phaedra and I turned 18, the gods gave us our marriage decrees. I was chosen to marry Sylvan, the prince of the wealthiest city-state. My half-sister Phaedra was to be sent into the wilds as the bride offered to Erection, the leader of the wolf clan. But on the day of the wedding, my stepmother Megara secretly switched our bridal chariots. In my last life, I rushed to expose her scheme, but I didn't know Sylvan had already gotten Phaedra pregnant. Phaedra cried, threatened to kill herself, and nearly miscarried. In a rage, Sylvan cut my face with a blade and had me thrown onto a slave ship. In the end, he and Phaedra had twins, and I died miserably at sea. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the morning after Megara had switched the wedding chariots. I sat up in bed just as the horns outside sounded for the third time. My nurse pushed the door open, and her smile vanished instantly.
You? Why are you still here?
The nobles in the courtyard erupted into chaos. Several noblewomen in purple robes rushed in and covered their mouths the moment they saw me.
Gods above. Was that Phaedra in the chariot?
Then why is Astra still here in plain linen? If the wrong bride was sent, that's a violation of the divine decree. The entire family could be exiled!
Megara shoved through the crowd and rushed toward me. She grabbed my shoulders and began to wail.
Astra! Have you lost your mind? Even if you didn't want to marry Prince Cillian, you had no right to force your sister to take your place. Defying a divine decree is punishable by death. Are you trying to drag all of us down with you?
She looked devastated, but I caught the flash of satisfaction in her eyes. I had seen that look in my last life too. Back then, I stormed into the temple and exposed the truth. Phaedra pretended to throw herself against the altar, and Sylvan caught her in his arms. Then she cried that her stomach hurt unbearably. Sylvan accused me of forging the decree and trying to harm royal blood. They shaved my head, scarred my face, and threw me onto a slave ship bound for the north. Phaedra wore my wedding gown, became queen, and gave birth to twins. The entire city-state praised her kindness and grace, and I died chained in the bottom of a ship, with no one left who knew my name. But now, I was awake again. The horns sounded outside. Everything was exactly the same as before. I stepped back and let tears roll down my cheeks.
Mother, what are you talking about? Last night, you told Phaedra and me to drink the blessing wine together. After I drank it, I blacked out. When I woke up, my wedding gown was gone.
I lifted my arm. In the morning light, the cloth on my sleeve turned deep purple. Someone in the crowd gasped. It was sacred cloth from Athena's temple. It changed color when touched by ceremonial barley wine. The night before, I had secretly treated my sleeve with revealing tincture. Megara's expression changed.
Astra!
My aunt shoved through the nobles and rushed in, grabbing my arm.
By Hera, you vile woman! You drugged her! You stole her bridal gown and put it on your bastard daughter!
The color drained from Megara's face.
I worked so hard to arrange this wedding, and now I'm the villain and Lonan! I have treated Astra like my own child!
I stepped behind my aunt. The purple on my sleeve grew darker. My aunt seized my wrist and raised it for everyone to see.
Look at this! Barley wine! You can all smell it!
Send for the High Priestess! Let her examine it!
The High Priestess arrived quickly. She was my aunt's cousin. She lowered her head, smelled the cloth at my sleeve, and immediately frowned.
It is barley wine,
she said.
but it was mixed with a flower of the underheld. Most people who drink it fall asleep and die inside their dreams. Astra survived only because the goddess protected her.
I raised my head, tears falling hard and fast.
Why would Mother try to kill me? My father may be away at war, but he is still the commander. If you wanted mercy for Phaedra, you could have written to the Senate. One letter would have been enough. But now, Phaedra has stolen my decree and ridden away in the royal chariot. Once the temple discovers it, it will be treated as a capital offense. At best, Phaedra will be exiled. At worst, my father will be impeached by the Senate. Even if you don't care about me, do you not care about father or this family?
Megara suddenly dropped to her knees. Tears appeared instantly.
Astra, I made a terrible mistake. Phaedra was terrified of the decree. That is why she did this. But the chariot has already left the city. If this reaches the temple, Phaedra will be executed. You were raised by the family elders, and your mother's family holds power in the Senate.
Even if this goes before the council, you will survive. But if Phaedra is brought back, she has no way out. You have always been kind. Please say you gave it to her willingly. Save your sister's life.
My aunt slapped her across the face.
Willingly! You drugged her and switched the brides! And now you want Astra to take the blame for blasphemy? Not a chance. Astra's decree was inscribed by the High Priestess before the entire Senate, and you dare to defy it!
You already caused Astra's mother's death. Now you let your daughter steal her marriage. Do you think her mother's house has no one left to protect her?
Megara held her cheek and sneered.
I am Astra's mother. Her marriage is mine to arrange. No matter how powerful your family is, you have no right to interfere in mine.
I looked straight into Megara's eyes.
Where is my divine scroll? The High Priestess carved my name and my birth date onto it.
Her gaze flickered. I knew then. She had stolen it.
Yours? Hers? What difference does it make? You are both daughters of this house.
Your sister is fragile. As the elder one, why can't you just give in?
She had said the same thing in my last life. Phaedra took my decree and stole everything my mother had left me. Megara was betting that I would not dare make a scene, but this time I would take everything back myself. My aunt was trembling with rage.
This is outrageous! The decree was marked according to Astra's birthdra's date and fate. Stealing it is an offense against Hera herself.
If you and your daughter want to die, don't drag the rest of us with you.
And my sister's estate? You thought you could steal that too? I can summon the family elders right now and have you judged before the ancestral altar.
I gently held my aunt's hand down and turned to the nurse. Is the Wolf clan delegation still outside the estate? The nurse had been whispering with a maid behind the door. When I asked, she quickly nodded.
Yes, they are waiting for the bride to board the ship north.
I straightened my plain linen dress.
Invite their envoy in. Tell him I need to speak with him.
The curtain lifted, and a man stepped inside. In that instant, the air seemed to grow heavier. The entire room fell silent. I did not know how to describe it. It was as if something had briefly crossed the sun, dimming the light for a heartbeat. He was tall, broad-shouldered. His amber eyes looked like those of a wolf from the wildlands. But he did not feel like an ordinary envoy. As he entered, his shoulders were held with controlled tension. It was the instinct of someone who had survived countless battles, ready to strike, ready to kill. The nobles around him instinctively stepped back. Someone muttered something, but I did not catch it. But I saw an old soldier watching him closely, his pupils tightening in alarm. In my last life, this man had been there when I was dragged onto the slave ship. He said nothing, only silently guarded the door of my cabin the entire way, until I died on the journey. The moment I saw him again, my heart slammed hard against my ribs. But this was no time for memories. I forced my emotions down and told him exactly what had happened.
My sister stole my divine decree and rode away in the king's chariot, but I am willing to honor Hera's decree. Does your leader still want a bride?
Surprise flickered in his eyes. It was not offense. It was surprise at how calm I was.
The Wolf clan does not care for courtly technicalities.
His voice was low, like stone scraping over iron.
If you board our ship willingly, our chief will honor you as his lawful wife.
Good.
I removed the silver chain from my neck and handed it to him.
But before we leave, take me to the temple. I need to take back what is mine before the goddess.
He took the chain, his fingers brushing my palm. Heat shot through me for a moment, like touching a blade fresh from the forge. He looked at me.
Let's go.
At Athena's temple, the wedding was nearly over. The king sat upon his throne, his gray beard neatly trimmed, his lined face stern and regal. He looked pleased today. His son was about to marry the woman chosen by divine decree, a match that would raise the royal house's prestige. The priest raised the golden scepter, ready to declare the ceremony complete. Then the doors were pushed open from outside. My aunt and I stood at the entrance. The music in the temple died as if someone had cut its Sylvan's hand froze in midair just as he was about to lift the bride's veil. Every noble in the temple turned, and the moment they saw me, they gasped.
Astra, why are you here?
Then who was in the chariot?
The king's face darkened like the sea before a storm.
Astra, explain yourself.
Phaedra hid behind Sylvan. Her veil slipped, revealing her pitiful little face.
Your Highness!
Sylvan instinctively pulled her closer behind him. I knelt, my voice trembling like a leaf in the wind.
Your Majesty, Last night, Megara asked my sister and me to drink the blessing wine. After I drank it, I passed out. When I woke this morning, my wedding gown was gone, and so was my divine scroll. I feared I would miss the ceremony, so I came as quickly as I could in plain linen.
King Eryx turned to the captain of the bridal escort.
You noticed nothing when you collected the bride?
The captain dropped to one knee, sweat gathering on his brow.
Your Majesty, the woman in the chariot carried the divine scroll. By custom, we were not permitted to lift the bride's veil.
The divine scroll? When I woke, the box that held it was gone.
The king's gaze rested on Phaedra for 2 long seconds. Phaedra dropped to her knees, tears spilling down her cheeks at once.
My sister kept saying last night that she didn't want to marry. She drank too much, and this morning, no matter how hard we tried, she would not wake up. The royal escort was already at the gate. I had no choice but to take her place.
She looked so innocent. I frowned.
Phaedra, isn't that the other way around? Last night, you were the one crying in Mother's arms, refusing to go to the Wolf Clan. You insisted on sleeping in my room. Now that I think about it, was that so you could steal my gown and my decree? How can you accuse me like this? I only planned to switch back with you later and protect your reputation. It was my fault. You can punish me however you want. But please don't say I stole from you.
Sylvan immediately pulled her into his arms and looked at me coldly.
Astra, if you didn't want to marry me, why come here and make a scene? Phaedra helped you. And instead of thanking her, you accuse her? Today, I recognize only Phaedra as my wife.
The rules have been performed. The goddess has witnessed it.
I watched them quietly. They had done the same thing in my last life. One played the victim, the other played the righteous hero, and together they placed the charge of blasphemy on my head. As if they were the ones with no choice. They climbed over my body and still pretended their hands were clean. But life does not work that way. I let out a soft sigh.
So you truly did all of this for me?
Phaedra raised her tearful eyes.
How could you say that? We are family. How could I watch you marry a man you did not love and suffer for the rest of your life? Sylvan is brave, noble, and everything any woman could dream of. I only did not want to disappoint Sylvan or shame the temple.
Sylvan melted under her gaze and held her even tighter. The look he gave me grew colder. Whispers spread through the crowd. Their stares cut into me like knives. Slowly, I took a small ebony box from my sleeve.
Perhaps I have misunderstood my sister.
However, the box clicked open. I picked up a folded piece of paper from inside. When I read the words written on it, Phaedra looked as if she wanted to disappear, and everyone in the temple stared in shock.
When the moon hides her blushing face, I have tasted the sweetness of honey in your arms. I wish to be the little bird in your palm, landing beside your pillow every night, yours to claim.
I read the last few words slowly and softly, but everyone heard them.
That is quite an intimate poem. It could easily make people think my sister has been deeply in love with Sylvian all along.
Then I took a gold ring from the bottom of the box. A lion's head was carved into it. Sylvan even gave my sister his personal token. So it seems your relationship was never ordinary. Then I picked up a prescription. I read the herbs written on it aloud.
This prescription of yours seems unusual, Phaedra.
My aunt leaned in to look, then gasped.
Gods! This is the exact same prescription my pregnant daughter-in-law uses!
Phaedra's eyes instantly turned red.
I didn't! If my sister insists on humiliating me like this, then only my death can prove my innocence!
She rushed toward the stone pillar beside the altar. Sylvan grabbed her into his arms, his face full of pain.
Phaedra, enough!
The king rose from his throne in fury. Everyone dropped to their knees.
I had no idea you had been involved with her in secret. And I certainly did not know you dared to switch the bride on the goddess's own gaze. I chose a noble woman blessed by divine decree for you. And this is what you do? You disgrace yourself with your fiancé's sister! What do you think the goddess decree is? A joke?
Father, Phaedra and I truly love each other. Please allow us to be together.
The queen trembled with rage.
You fool! Astra was chosen by Athena's own decree!
What is this girl compared to her?
Suddenly, Phaedra clutched her stomach and cried out. Cold sweat rolled down her forehead. She curled into Sylvan's arms. The physician stepped forward to examine her pulse.
I only ate something bad. You look terrible, Phaedra. You really shouldn't hide it.
In my last life, she entered the palace under my divine decree. The next day, her pregnancy was discovered. Everyone called it a blessing brought by the decree, but today, I would make sure both of them were ruined.
Download the app to watch the full series for free.